Now, here's Chief Meteorologist Lee Haywood with your Storm Track 3 forecast.
And a good evening to you. Happy Thursday. We have clear skies and cold temperatures over southeastern North Carolina at this hour. High pressure building closer and closer to the Carolina coastline. And this is going to be the dominant feature for the next 24 hours. And it's going to bring a chill to the air, which we saw today. Tonight, we're down into the low 30s at this hour. We'll be dipping into the upper 20s and low 30s overnight with clear skies, so bundle up out there. We have a pretty chilly Friday, but moderating for the weekend. More on that straight ahead. Your news at 11 starts right now.
You're watching WWAY News at 11.
Tonight on WWAY News at 11, pedestrian-involved accidents in the port city. Could jaywalking be part of the problem? Plus, a nutrition expert explains how you could stay healthy this holiday season. And later, reaction from local lawmakers after the North Carolina General Assembly voted to override a veto from Governor Roy Cooper for an expansive and controversial bill known as SB 382. Thanks for joining us tonight for your WWAY News at 11. I'm Jessica Kiesling. A Columbus County man has been arrested for an alleged sextortion plot involving a victim in another state. On March 1st, the State Bureau of Investigation got a tip about a suspect allegedly sextorting a minor in Pennsylvania. 25-year-old Landon Powell of Cerro Gordo was eventually identified as a suspect, and he was arrested yesterday and is charged with 10 counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. A judge issued him a $15,000 bond. In Brunswick County, a number of law enforcement agencies had to respond to a mobile home fire this morning. The Southport Fire Department was the primary responder when the home started burning around 9:30 this morning in the 1200 block of North House Street. Southport police were helping with traffic, and they say the home belonged to one man who was not there at the time. There were no reported injuries. The Southport Fire Department says a space heater was likely the cause of the blaze. There have been a number of recent incidents involving vehicles hitting pedestrians, and we wanted to know why. It turns out jaywalking in Wilmington might be more common than we think. Jaywalking is crossing the road without regard for oncoming traffic. In North Carolina, the law requires pedestrians to yield to vehicles, except when in a crosswalk. According to data from the Wilmington Police Department, there have been 58 pedestrian-related crashes this year, including 5 fatal ones. Some of the problem areas include Military Cutoff Road, Randall Parkway, South College Road, and Market Street. While police couldn't comment on the specific incidents, spokesperson Greg Willett explains what is enforceable.
If they're playing, for lack of a better term, Frogger with vehicles and dodging in it, then that is something that I can enforce. I can cite them then. Always safer and smarter to use the crosswalk. It's not always the quickest route. I understand that, and we understand that, but it's the safest route.
Willett adds it's a very important issue, but in Wilmington, there are usually more traffic-related fatalities than fatalities involving weapons like guns or knives. We're asking you tonight, do you think jaywalking should be illegal? 80% say yes, 10% say no, and 10% say I don't know. Thanks to everyone who's voted so far. And if you'd like to vote, just scan the QR code on top of your screen or head to our website. The town of Carolina Beach rejected a conditional zoning request that would bring a private K through 5 school to the island. It was a split vote. As WWAY's Keelan Berrien reports, one of the newest members of the New Hanover County Board of Education was one of the people arguing against the private school.
It is the North Carolina responsibility to make sure that every child gets a sound basic education. And by taking money away from our public schools and giving them to private schools, it's not helping to fulfill that mandate.
All right, so check this out on how we got here. New Hanover County School Board member Tim Merrick did not like the idea that Seaside Chapel over in Carolina Beach wanted to add a K through 5 private school to its church.
Traffic, it's a real problem. What its impact would be to a local school is another issue.
Now, Merrick, who is speaking on behalf as a concerned resident and not as a school board member, was at Carolina Beach Town meeting Wednesday night, which had an item to consider a K through 5 school at 105 Dow Road at Seaside Chapel on the agenda. Do you live on an island?
I do.
So you know about the traffic issue.
100%. I have to go on Dow Road every day, a couple of times a day, and it can be tough.
But in a 2-3 vote, council members turned down the idea, and not because of socioeconomic worries, but for things that the town can control, like stormwater, traffic, and rezoning.
I would just encourage you to not focus on that portion for your deliberations tonight, as it is a New Hanover County school, and it's not something that you should consider in your deliberation.
The town feels like the county can only control funding and resources to public schools, even though Carolina Beach Mayor Lynn Barbie was one of the two who wanted to approve the item.
I decided to go with planning and zoning and the town staff's recommendations for approval.
But listen to this.
I'm a supporter of all education, but I also believe that students excel in different environments.
Dana Vest with Seaside Chapel says their proposed 90 students wouldn't take away resources from public schools. It would help accommodate students' different needs.
Would I say that no student would leave Carolina Beach? I wouldn't say that. But I wouldn't say that we would make a detrimental impact.
Governor Roy Cooper has consistently echoed Merrick, saying one of the reasons he's opposed to private school vouchers is because having less children enrolled in public schools would lead to less funding for those public schools. Up ahead, for a heads up for drivers, a Pender County bridge is closing to traffic next week while crews conduct maintenance. Crews will close the Horse Branch Road Bridge at Long Creek at 8 a.m. on Monday and are expected to reopen it by 5 p.m. next Thursday. While it's closed, maintenance staff will repair the concrete bridge deck. While there will be no posted detour, drivers should use alternate routes such as NC 53 and Malpass Corner Road. A big announcement today as the Environmental Protection Agency awarded nearly $20 million in grants to 2 North Carolina nonprofits. Democracy Green and Working Lands Trust were awarded the grants for 2 separate projects. Around 90% of the grants will be used to remove lead pipes from homes in unincorporated areas of Brunswick County like Ash and Supply. Around 500 homes were identified by Democracy Green to have high levels of lead, with half using well water and half on sewer. Democracy Green Board President Lamicia Whittington says the grant will work alongside efforts by Brunswick County to help as many residents as possible.
The county is already doing a lot of work to replace pipes on their side for utility customers, but we can actually go inside the house, so it's like a perfect marriage. They get to replace the pipes in the streets, we get to replace the pipes in home. And for well customers or well users, we get to help them completely because they're not on, utilities. And so that will be part of 90% of the grant.
The remaining 10% of the grant funding will be used to restore around 30 acres of an abandoned wetland. Both projects will start in the spring of 2025. Several months after getting hit hard by potential tropical cyclone 8, a fundraiser will be held tomorrow to help Fix a Friend spay and neuter clinic in Winnebago. Fix a Friend took some serious damage during the storm, with 3 feet of water flooding their building on Highway 17. Since then, a number of fundraisers have been held by other organizations and businesses to help the clinic both rebuild its building and replace equipment they lost. Tomorrow's fundraiser is being held at Beach Haven Design, a home goods store located in Southport. Fix a Friend assistant manager Rebecca Leonard says all of the community support means a lot to her and the clinic.
It's just nice to know that even after months after going through this, people are still out there trying to find ways to help us and support us and get us back open as soon as possible.
The fundraiser will start at 6 in the evening, and the donations from this and other fundraisers will be used to help raise the clinic by 6 feet so it doesn't flood again and renovate the inside of the building. With the holiday season in full swing, it can be tough to take a moment to push away that extra plate. We spoke with a local dietitian for tips on staying healthy during the holidays. Now, some people skip meals to save space for the big feast later, but nutritionists recommend arriving at the holiday functions already fueled, because skipping meals can lead to overeating. It's also important to include protein, fats, and fiber to help regulate blood sugar and curb cravings. Registered dietitian and Tula Wellness founder Callan Wall says these tips are helpful, but fixing your relationship with food is key for long-term success.
I always recommend healing your relationship with food, working with someone to heal your relationship with food long term so that holidays just feel exactly what they're there for, about connection and love with people that you love in your life. And I think the all or nothing, on the wagon, off the wagon is what can lead to that sense of failure that people feel.
Wall also recommends not restricting yourself to holiday foods and making your health priority a year-round thing. Ahead on WWAY News at 11, we've got new reaction and a deeper dive into the newest North Carolina law, which became law over the objections of the governor, why the next governor may suffer. And FBI informant admits he made up story that was key to the Biden impeachment inquiry.
And we are going to have a nice and dry wrap of the work and school week. Friday's forecast includes sunshine and scattered cloudiness building across the region. High temperatures, though, still rather chilly along the coast, only reaching the low 50s. But a warming trend is going to be ahead for the weekend and early next week. More on that coming up.
Now, here's Chief Meteorologist Lee Haywood with your Storm Track 3 forecast.
Well, despite all the sunshine we had through the coastal Carolinas today, really didn't warm up all that much, did it? We started the day at freezing and we only got to 54 degrees, and that was far below yesterday's high temperature of 70 before that frontal boundary moved in and cooled us down. 3-degree guarantee, we'll start with that this evening, and forecast today was 53. We got to 54, so we added $20 more in for the Harrelson Center, now $100. And tomorrow's forecast, a couple of degrees warmer than today, but pretty chilly out there. It looks like we'll start to get a little milder as we head into the weekend. But before then, it is going to be a clear and cold night, as the overnight temperatures will be all the way down into the upper 20s and low 30s. And I do think just about all of us starting the morning with wind chills in the upper 20s. So bundle up as you head out the door for Friday morning. This upper level trough, the dip in the jet stream, will be moving out over the next couple of days. And what's going to be happening is a weak ridge of high pressure in the upper part of the atmosphere will be building in. That's going to allow for a nice moderation in temperature, especially on Saturday and Sunday. And let's talk about the temperature regime over the next few days. So upper 50s tomorrow with a mixture of sunshine and cloudiness. Average temperature this time of year, 61. We're right at that on Saturday. Should be a really nice start to the weekend. Sunday will be a little bit above that, 65 degrees, and could be an isolated couple of showers here or there, especially near the coast due to a coastal trough on Sunday. Monday should be dry, close to 70 degrees, a little bit above 70 on Tuesday, and then we'll back down a little bit on the temperatures next Wednesday and Thursday behind the front. But right now, just a couple of degrees shy of freezing for the air temperature. Wind is calm. Radiational cooling in full effect tonight with high pressure, clear skies, dry air, and of course, winds that are near calm. Dew point is low at 29, giving us a relative humidity value of 82%. Could be a little bit of frost as you head out the door in the morning. Look out for that. Might head out a little bit early to check that out. But otherwise, we're about 10 degrees cooler than 24 hours ago. 33 Burgon, Kenansville. Look at Elizabethtown. 29 for you right now, 34 Whiteville. And about 31 in Calabash. So the big pattern shows high pressure and control. It's centered right over the Tar Heel State, ridging down across the southeast. A lot of some higher level cloudiness kind of building out of the plains into the south, and we'll see some of that cloudiness next couple of days, but otherwise just sunshine and clouds all the way through Saturday. Overnight, clear skies, cold conditions. These are the overnight low expectations. We will be in the upper 20s inland of the coastline, 30 for the Wilmington area, as will Oak Island, Holden Beach, and Ocean Isle. They're your upper 20s from White Lake, Bladenboro, Whiteville, all the way into Bolton. Then tomorrow's forecast, 57 degrees, couple of degrees warmer than today, but still pretty chilly out there. Sunshine and scattered clouds and a northeast breeze. Not projecting any rain over the next 48 hours, as it should continue to be dry with the domination of high pressure, which will be to our north and east. So other than just scattered clouds, look for a decent amount of sunshine through Saturday and maybe a little bit of a trough over the water Sunday. Could drop a slight chance for an isolated shower, mid-60s then. Really nice and trending warmer Monday as we're close to 70 degrees. Next front comes in on Tuesday. Out ahead of the front, isolated shower chances, 71, and we'll back down a little bit for next Wednesday and Thursday. But a couple of things you notice, not a lot of rain in that forecast, Jessica, and also the temperatures once we get into the weekend and next week, pretty much steady as you go, mostly in the 60s. So no big changes, and I'm all for that right now.
Me too. And that's 71.
Yeah,
like
it's
nice
gonna.
day.
Hey, listen, first part of the week, next week, you'll enjoy some mild air, about 70 each day.
Sounds good. Thank you, Lee.
You bet.
We've got new details on a new law that became a law despite the governor's veto. WWAY's Nate Malden spoke with state lawmakers on both sides about the law.
The North Carolina House passing a veto override Wednesday for Senate Bill 382. In the House chambers, protesters in the gallery repeatedly chanted shame at lawmakers, with one protester being arrested. The controversial bill moves $227 million into a Hurricane Helene relief fund, but most of that money can't be spent until legislators decide on how to use it. The bill also strips the powers of several incoming Democratic officials, including the governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and state superintendent. No incoming Republican positions were affected by the bill. Representative Deb Butler of Wilmington calls the bill dirty politics, while Representative Frank Eiler of Brunswick County says it balances power.
Some of the other issues that were lying dormant during the year got put into that bill, and everybody was upset about it. But people want elections to be more bipartisan.
If you will exploit the worst natural disaster in North Carolina history for political gain, it's dirty politics.
Another issue some have with the bill is that it significantly shortens the amount of time election officials have to count ballots. The NC Association of Directors of Elections condemned the rule change, citing the lack of time to properly count valid ballots. Eiler says he hears those concerns and that he would be interested in revisiting the issue in the future.
Anything that we need to work on, we can come back and do another bill to treat, but we're time limited. People still need this money.
Butler feels the bill ignores the will of the people.
Listen, North Carolina spoke. They elected Donald Trump, and Democrats at the top of North Carolina. That's what we call balanced government. But the Republicans in Raleigh want none of it.
Although the bill is now law, Governor Roy Cooper and Governor-elect Josh Stein says that they're taking legal action against it. Coming up on your news at 11, what we're learning tonight about an American recently found in Syria following the fall of the Assad regime. An FBI informant accused of lying about the Biden family has cut a plea deal. According to a court filing in California today, Alexander Smirnov is set to plead guilty to 4 charges, including tax evasion and obstructing justice. As part of his plea deal, he admits to falsely claiming that Ukrainian energy company Burisma was paying off Joe Biden while he was vice president and his son Hunter, who was on the company's board. Smirnov's admissions clear up a major accusation of corruption involving the Bidens. The plea agreement is calling for a sentence of 4 to 6 years in prison. The court hasn't yet set a date to hear Smirnov's plea. President-elect Donald Trump is getting a big financial boost for his upcoming inauguration. A source familiar with the matter says online retail giant Amazon will donate $1 million. Company founder Jeff Bezos is also planning to visit Trump within the next few days. The two men spoke this summer, shortly after the first assassination attempt against Trump. Bezos praised Trump on social media at the time, saying he showed great courage during the incident. Meanwhile, Facebook's parent company Meta confirmed this week it has also donated $1 million to the Trump's inaugural fund. In international news, a U.S. citizen who went missing in Hungary earlier this year is believed to have been found in Syria. The man, identifying as Travis Timmerman of Missouri, was wandering barefoot in Damascus when he was found by residents. Timmerman says that he had been detained for 7 months after entering Syria without permission, and he was released Monday when 2 men armed with AK-47s broke down his cell door. NGO Hostage Aid Worldwide captured video of him after he was found in Syria.
My name is Travis. I'm from the...
1 minute. 1 minute. What's your name?
Travis.
Chavez?
No.
Country?
United States.
United States?
The United States.
United States.
Thousands of people have been released from prisons across Syria this week after rebels toppled the country's former president Bashar al-Assad. A U.S. official says the government is aware of these reports and seeking to provide support. The Israel Defense Forces released video tonight reportedly showing the Israeli Air Force striking surface-to-air missile launchers in Syrian Air Force fighter jets inside Syria. According to Israeli military, Syria's aerial defense systems were severely damaged by the strikes. Israel also struck Syrian Air Force bases in the northern Damascus area and weapons manufacturing sites. This as UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres voiced concern over Israel's violation of Syria's sovereignty. And as the UN Security Council meets tomorrow to discuss a framework for achieving lasting peace in Syria. Sports is next on WWAY News at 11. Bill Belichick officially becomes a Carolina Tar Heel, and we'll hear from a Wilmington football player who will soon be playing for the legendary coach.
WWAY Sports brought to you by Hughes Brothers Tire and Auto.
Our student athlete of the week is excelling at the start of the basketball season. Nathan Jarrell is a senior on the Ashley High School basketball team, and he's taking AP and early college classes at CFCC while maintaining a 4.15 GPA. He also volunteers his time as a youth league referee. Jarrell wants to enter cybersecurity and pursue an engineering degree at a major university.
It's all about time management, you know, like something I feel like I struggled with my freshman, sophomore year, just putting too much pressure on yourself, you know, just go out there, especially in the basketball court, just have fun. I mean, you only get to do it once, so, and just make sure you're putting just as much time into school as you are sports. I feel like that's just the most important thing when it comes to high school. You'll be successful. Sorry.
If you know a student athlete worthy of mention, nominate one on our website. And the football world has its eyes on the triangle today because Chapel Bill is now in effect. Bill Belichick spoke to hundreds of media members today while being introduced as the Tar Heels' new head coach. About an hour before that, he met his new team for the first time. Jason Smith is a Hoggard football alum who now plays for UNC, and he says the coach has made sure to have the players show up early for their meeting with Coach Belichick, and he couldn't be more excited for the future.
Right off the bat, and as soon as he walked in the door, like everybody was like got right posture, looked at him, like ultimate respect. But I believe that a lot of people want to come here, and that I know it will be a very good opportunity to go to the NFL, and it will be run very well. He really just put a lot of confidence into this program, and I think we're gonna be a really good program moving forward.
Players are taking a break throughout the rest of this week and then report back to campus Sunday to begin preparing for their bowl game against UConn. We had some colder weather today. Up next, Lee's back and he tells us if the low temps will continue through the weekend.
It is going to be a cold night across the area. Friday morning temperatures will be in the upper 20s and low 30s. Make sure the kids are dressed warmly as they head out the door because it is going to be a cold start and it'll be a rather chilly day. We'll go through the 40s and top out at 57 degrees for your Friday afternoon with sunshine and scattered clouds. Only 38 for Saturday morning, so it's a little bit of a moderation of the temperature, and that'll be the theme as we move forward into the weekend. 61, nice day Saturday, especially afternoon. Partly cloudy skies Sunday, slight chance for a couple of showers as a little bit of a coastal trough develops. So mainly some showers that will be fairly light out there, 65 for the high. And we were talking about temperatures getting close to 70 on Monday and Tuesday. And all in all, it'll be a pretty good forecast. Not a whole lot of wet weather in there, so it could be a couple of good days ahead. And once we get this chillier weather out of here, I'll be enjoying 60s. So it'll be nice in the next week.
Is 71 too cool for like a beach day, like a spontaneous beach day, or no?
I guess it just kind of depends upon what you like. I mean, for me, and keep in mind that 71's for Wilmington. 60s, it tends to be a little bit cooler on the beaches.
Yeah.
But hey, listen, for a walk down the beach, 60s, that's not bad at all.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I might bring maybe a little blankie.
Would you dip in the water in the 50s?
No.
We got these polar plunges
I know, my
coming up
husband's
soon.
all about the cold plunge.
Yeah.
But all right, well, be sure to join Matt, Tamika, and Matthew on Good Morning Carolina tomorrow morning starting at